Hi there. First, I would like to preface that I'm making this video because I am tired of the effect that some YouTubers have had on this game. Zenless Zone Zero has been out for just well over a week, and because a new popular gacha game from a very popular developer just came out, it was to be expected that the biggest content creators of the gacha sphere will be covering this game like moths to a candle. Now, it is understandable that some people may like the game while others maybe not so much. That being said, I should mention that I respect the opinions of these gacha YouTubers even though I find some of them to be absolute L-takes. So they're not exactly the ones that pushed me to make this video, but rather their most devout followers. Where some of them would say that the game is absolute dog shit, or sing praises of hallelujah to a game just because their favorite YouTuber is their doctrine despite not even touching a single hair strand of the game. And I would also like to get this out of the way. Yes, I like Zenless Zone Zero, in fact, maybe a bit too much. But I would at least like to give some idea if this game is for you, particularly for those who've actually never played the game yet and are still in contemplation. For those whose ideas are set in stone and just want to argue, you can simply fuck off. So if you are someone of the following criteria, then Zenless Zone Zero may just be right up your alley. First off, fans of hack and slash games, specifically games like Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, or something like Darksiders, maybe. Not something like Dynasty Warriors because the dopamine rush from those types of games are completely different from this one. Zenless Zone Zero features these really satisfying moment-to-moment combat that's both impactful and rewarding, coupled with over-the-top amazing animations and visual effects that I dare say I've never really seen in a gacha game before. Sure, Genshin, ToF, and Wuwa all have amazing visual effects, but what makes ZZZ's art direction unique for me is the diving in 100% to the anime aesthetic, where some of the visual effects are straight up made with 2D animation philosophy in mind, creating this wonderful cacophony of amazing visuals accompanied by orgasmic sound design. For those of you who try this game out while truly believing that all you need to do is press one button, just get out of here. At least play the game properly first, then give your verdict. Secondly, for those who enjoy dungeon crawlers, Zenless Zone Zero has what people call the TV system, where half of the game basically takes place in this board or dungeon. The game basically uses the system mostly as a navigation tool for exploration, but also makes good use of it for storytelling. While a chunk of the community absolutely abhors this game mode, I actually find it quite fascinating. Sure, the story would probably be a lot better if it played out on the field, but the TV system has a certain charm, and the developers actually did a great job at expressing the game's story through these TV boxes. And as an avid enjoyer of dungeon crawlers myself, I find the exploration gameplay of the TV system to actually be quite fun and enjoyable. Lastly, if you live for amazing animations and visual styles, then this game is absolutely for you. While I really love this game, I have to admit that I find the first couple of days to be pretty exhausting. Having to use your low-level characters against increasingly tanky enemies without access to proper upgrades had been pretty tiring. However, the cinematic animations at the end of each chapter made all the tedious clicking hella worth it. And the animations just kept getting better the farther down in the game you go. Not to mention that this game's overall aesthetic already looks absolutely gorgeous. Just to give some of my thoughts on some of the visual aspects of this game, the art direction is great. However, there really isn't much scenery in the overworld space that makes the players just take in the environment. When I first started playing the game, I found the characters bland and basic. And out of context, they kind of are. But having played through the game's story more and understanding each of the characters through their story arcs, their design actually started to make much more sense. And as of right now, me reaching the current end of the game with absolutely nothing else left to do but dailies, I can safely say that I really like the concept and design of each and every single character so far. Yes, even like Kawan, you furry haters. While the graphics is by no means a step up to the next generation of gaming, Zenless Zone Zero's art direction is 100% brimming with style, and sometimes that's all that really matters. Okay, now onto you guys who fit the following criteria. You probably will not like this game. Firstly, if you hate gacha games, I believe this should be self-explanatory, but either way, let me explain. I also absolutely loathed gacha games. I played a lot of Genshin Impact and some other throwaway mobile gachas, but every time I realize that I can't make strides of progress because of a strict daily energy limit, it always ends up turning me off. This game is quite special though. I can kind of forgive it for its transgressions. To give you an idea, I'm currently level 39 after around 8 days of playing as of this recording, and I've absolutely run out of things to do. And this is the best case scenario. For those of you who will be starting late, just know that after the release of the game's next content update, there will come a point in time where you'll find yourself locked from doing the next story mission because of a bullshit level requirement. This is pretty much evident in most gacha games out there, so if this is a deal breaker for you, then do what you will with that information. Aside from that, as you already know, if you're not willing to shill any money into a gacha game, please, for the love of God, don't expect that you're guaranteed to get every character you like. It's part of the DNA of gacha games. That's just how all gacha games work. If you're free to play, then work with what you have. If you're a whale, then thank you for allowing your gacha game to exist. Secondly, if you only play open world games, while this game has an overworld that you can explore, much like an open world game, Zenless Zone Zero is by no means open world. And if you come in and expect the same exploration experience as in Genshin Impact, then just don't even bother, save yourself the time. Third, if you're someone who doesn't want their flow of immersion interrupted, then you're probably gonna hate this game. Zenless Zone Zero's pacing is all over the place, especially during the first few hours or days of gameplay. The game just loves pulling you to these activities that you never really planned on doing to begin with. Imagine you're planning to do the entire main story first before you do anything else. The game just won't let you. At some point, you'll be roped to go into some other location to a specific thing as a form of tutorial before the game lets you back into the story, or just some insignificant activity that you definitely don't want to miss out on. I can't stress this enough. The pacing of this game is all over the place. It's like the game contracted some sort of Gen Z ADHD the moment it was conceived. Lastly, if you're already loyal to another gacha game, just don't even bother, man. We all already know what you're going to say, and you're probably gonna try this game out for a bit, tell your friends that it's pretty shit, and hope that they stay with you in your favorite game. Just get better friends, man. Jesus. Another thing, I'd like to talk about this big misconception about Zenless Zone Zero. It's the wrong idea that Zenless Zone Zero is much like Persona 5. This game is nothing like Persona 5. Sure, it has this social system, time cycle, and an overworld you can explore like the Persona games, but it's really just a shallow shell of what inspired it to begin with. Zenless Zone Zero's social system is really just there for 1, fan service, and 2, for more rewards. But that's about it. This social or trust interactions in the game simply has zero depth and will eventually turn into a daily mundane activity for you to do. Especially considering the fact that the social interactions just literally repeat itself the next day. You basically only have 2 choices in every hangout activity. Go to point A or to point B. Then it just repeats again and again and again. For me, Hoyo's version of the Persona series' social system is, simply put, a massive disappointment, but I do hope to see them improve it in the future. Now, an afterword before I end this video. I really like this game, and I don't really have a problem with anyone. I just want to talk about this stuff as it's been echoing in my head for a few days now, and I'm just glad I can finally give it a rest. I'm still unsure if I'll do more content for Zenless Zone Zero in the future, but I'm pretty compelled to make guide videos myself, but a lot of people out there with better resources are already doing that, so I'll just go steal that shit.